The right way to get the lean startup to work. The concept of the lean startup has always been part of the startup vocabulary. Long before it was made popular and the book was written, many entrepreneurs were following the basic concepts of the lean startup concept. The concept is simple and logical to follow. Essentially, you just develop the simplest version of your product that you can think of. This is your minimal viable product, or MVP. Then you listen to what the market is telling you and gather feedback. Then you make whatever adjustments you need to make to your MVP for the next version of the product based on the market feedback. Now, all of this sounds great, doesn't it? Here's the problem. The problem is the lean startup model does not work. It's not going to solve your problems. In today's video, I'll explain the flaws with the lean startup model and MVPs, and I'll explain the right way for you to use the lean startup concepts. So let's go. Let's start with why the lean startup model doesn't work. The idea is to keep your team small and spend minimally. Then you and your team put your heads down creating your MVP. When you're done, you release your product to the market and you get feedback modifying the flaws in your MVP. Then you release the next version of your product, which should be closer to the target of what customers want. So why doesn't this work? It comes down to this. What happens if no customers buy your product and you get minimal to no feedback? The reality is this happens all the time. The reason this happens is simple. Number one, engineers don't understand customers are under no obligation to buy your MVP. Huh? How can that be, you ask? This leads to the core challenge that too many entrepreneurs miss. There's nothing unique or valuable about your MVP. You've got your MVP done and you go to customers and you say, hey, here's our MVP, buy it. It does X, Y, and Z. And the customers say, I already have a product that does all of that better than yours. Why should I buy your product? And the whole thing blows up. Now you've wasted several months of precious time and money, and you've learned nothing. That's the killer. Click the subscribe button right now if you want to get notified every time I release a new video. And you like today's video too. Now, where did you go wrong? To understand the answer, you have to put yourself into your customer's shoes. Customers are willing to buy from new vendors, but only if you have something better to offer. There's an old saying, no one ever gets fired from buying from IBM. In other words, why should I put myself on the line for you? And the answer is there has to be something truly special about your product that makes the risk of buying from a new supplier worth it. Or else why should I, as your customer, switch? I can just about guarantee this is where you've gone wrong. Your challenge is building an MVP that has a huge 10x or greater advantage. Now you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, how do I do this? I know the arguments. You need lots of money to create something great. You need better engineers. You need better tools. And to all of that I say, no, you don't. This is the challenge that every entrepreneur, every company that has come before you has faced. Now, if you like today's video, then hit that like button right now. Successful startups find a way to create 10x better MVPs all the time. Now, how do they do it? Let's go through the steps. Number one, you have to choose your end market. Emerging markets are more forgiving than mature markets. Mature markets tend to have more established large competitors. You're selling to established large customers in a mature market, then you usually have to replace a competitor. This sets the bar even higher. Again, remember that old saying, nobody ever gets fired from buying from IBM, and you're not IBM, especially not as a startup. Emerging markets give you a better chance of being first. You can grow with the market. Everyone's a new player in an emerging market, so you're on even footing with everybody else. Number 2, you have to understand what's truly important to your end customers. What are you going to be 10x better than anyone else at? This is critical to get right because customers are not going to buy from you if you're not giving them a game-changing product. Customers will not care if your product is an MVP, but they will care that it's groundbreaking. I've seen this time and time again in my career. Every time I've entered a new market, our product was at least 10x better than what was out there. Number 3, your MVP doesn't need all the bells and whistles the competition has, but it does need to work. The true mark of a disruptive product is a product that customers use despite its flaws. This is brilliantly outlined in the late Clayton Christensen masterpiece, The Innovator's Dilemma. The flaws don't matter as much to your customers because the improvements you've made are so groundbreaking and so disruptive that customers do not care about the flaws. They'll literally chew glass to use your product. Number 4, you find ways to get your MVP developed on a shoestring budget. Here's an example. You show that your hardware product, which will cost millions of dollars to develop, will work using just software. So it can be developed at a fraction of the cost, at least to show that the initial concept works. I've worked with entrepreneurs whose companies are now worth billions of dollars who've used this approach. Number 5, you effectively market your product or service to your customers or your target group of initial customers. There are at least 19 different marketing channels to choose from. To learn more, read Gabriel Weinberg's great book, Traction, for a logical way to determine the right channel for your situation. Now let's summarize what you've learned. To get the lean startup model to work, your challenge is building an MVP that is a huge 10x greater advantage. There is a 5-step process for you to follow. Number 1, you have to choose your end market. Number 2, you have to understand what's truly important to your end customers. Number 3, your MVP doesn't need all the bells and whistles the competition has, but it does need to work. Number 4, you find ways to get your MVP developed on a shoestring budget. Number 5, you effectively market your product or service to your target group of initial customers. Now that's it. That's all you need to do. Now I have one more thing for you today. I have a free startup pitch deck template. It has all the slides that you need to create a great startup pitch deck. To get your free startup pitch deck template, click the link below today's video and it's yours for free. I've really enjoyed speaking with you today, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.